Imagine this. We're kicking off with a vibrant scene, the UK flag waving subtly in the background, economic graphs pulsing with life, and me standing there, ready to unpack a story that's gripping households across the nation. Here's the deal: the UK economy is leaning hard on people like you and me spending our hard earned cash, but with savings drying up and living costs shooting through the roof, it's a shaky foundation. Policymakers, they're juggling fire, trying to keep it all together. Let's dive into what's really going on. Picture the UK economy as a big engine chugging along. Last quarter, GDP growth hit 2.5%. Not bad, right? It's a sign things are moving. But zoom in and you'll see inflation clinging to 4.2%, while unemployment's at 4.8%. The engine's running, but it's coughing under the strain. What's keeping it going? United States. Household consumption drives nearly 60% of GDP. Every time you grab a coffee, buy new trainers, or splurge on a weekend getaway, you're fueling growth. Businesses thrive, jobs stick around. It's the heartbeat of the economy. But here's where it gets dicey: that heartbeat's starting to skip. Now, let's split the screen in your mind. On one side, people are shopping, bags swinging, tills ringing. On the other, a graph shows savings rates nosediving from 8% to 5% in a year, the lowest in over a decade. After lockdowns, we all went wild, spending what we'd stashed away. Fair enough. But the real kicker: living costs are climbing faster than we can keep up. Food's up 6%, energy bills have spiked 10%, and rents jumped 4% in cities like London and Manchester. Wages are inching up at 3.5%, but that's not cutting it against inflation. Real incomes, your actual buying power, are shrinking, and people are raiding their savings just to get by. This sets off a chain reaction. Savings are like a safety net. When they're gone, there's nothing to catch you if life throws a curveball, like a busted boiler or a job loss. Worse, if we all start tightening our belts because we're tapped out, consumption could drop. And since the economy leans so heavily on our spending, growth could grind to a halt. It's like a tightrope walker losing their balance. One wobble, and down we go. Dr. Emily Thompson from the London School of Economics nailed it when she said, "The UK's borrowing from the future to pay for today." That's a line that sticks with you, isn't it? So, what's the government's move? They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Growth's got to keep humming, especially with global trade tensions and a sluggish Eurozone next door, but the piggy bank's running low. The Bank of England's holding interest rates at 0.75%, nudging us to borrow and spend. Yet inflation's above their target, whispering raise rates. Do that too fast, though, and you risk choking. Meanwhile, the budget's tight, public debt's at 98% of GDP, and the deficit's at 3.2%. Big tax cuts or spending sprees, not happening. The Chancellor just axed a tax break for small businesses, saying there's no cash to spare. This isn't just numbers on a screen, it's real life. Last week, thousands hit the streets outside Parliament, waving signs about sky-high energy bills and rents. One person put it raw: "We're working harder than ever, but it feels like we're sliding backward." You can feel the frustration, can't you? It's a cry for help. And policymakers are scrambling to answer without tipping the scales the wrong way. Here's the tricky part: finding balance. Some experts reckon targeted help like energy subsidies or tax relief for low earners could ease the squeeze without breaking the bank. At the same time, pumping cash into tech startups or green energy could spark jobs and lift wages down the line. Picture bustling offices and wind farms humming. That's the dream. But those are slow burns, and the heat's on now. The Bank of England might nudge rates up a smidge to tame inflation without stalling growth, but it's a razor thin line. And globally, with the US hinting at rate cuts, the pound could flex, making UK exports pricier just when we need to lean less on shopping sprees. So, where does this leave us? The UK's at a crossroads, our spending's holding things up, but shrinking savings and soaring costs are red flags flapping in the wind. Policymakers are dancing a high stakes tango. Growth, inflation, budgets, and global curveballs all in play. The next few quarters, they're make or break. If they nail this, we might dodge a slump. If not, well, let's just say it's a story we'll keep watching unfold.